Welcome to Built by Insights. I'm Matt Krueger with Built by Krueger, and today's guest is Bill Ivey, the Executive Director of Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops is an organization that builds specially adaptive custom homes for post-9/11 wounded veterans. Bill has served our country with the U.S. Army for over 31 years. He's given his life to our country, and post his retirement is still sacrificing his time, his energy, and knowledge to this awesome organization called Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops, I think, is pretty amazing because they go and they select a veteran, then they allow them to pick a piece of land anywhere in the country. And then they find a local custom home builder because they want the quality and the specialty adaptations in the house to be perfect for their veterans. In the end, you guys just give them the key, which I think is awesome. It's such a financial relief, such a family relief, such an amazing thing. I've been able to have one of the veterans on the podcast in the past and just hear the story of how the home has transformed their house. And I'm just excited to have Bill Ivey on the show today. This is pretty awesome.
Well, Matt, thank you. I'm excited to be out here, and it's good to be back in Colorado with you all.
Yeah, it's fun. And you're out here because we're getting ready to deliver another HVAC property out by Oak Creek, which is near Steamboat. And what I think is impressive about your role is that you travel. You are so personable, and everything means so much to you that you go to all these projects all over the country. And so you got a lot of airline miles, but you're committed to the process and the journey and really connecting with these veterans through the whole thing.
Well, I consider that one of the perks of the job, that I get to go out, be with the veterans. As you mentioned, these are the men and women I spent my life with. And this particular group got banged up in Iraq or Afghanistan, and through Homes for Our Troops and great general contractors like you all, we got the opportunity to give them a leg up on moving forward despite the challenges of their injuries.
Bill, you served 31 years in the U.S. Army. That's a lifetime. And I want to hear a little bit just about your personal journey in your choices to join the military and what it's done for you in your life.
Sure. I came in right out of high school. It was during Vietnam. In retrospect, I would make a broad statement that everybody who hasn't been to war wants to go to war. Not everybody, but and that was, the thing you did. My dad was a World War II veteran. Both my grandpas were in World War I. And, of course, that didn't make me real special having my dad be in World War II because most of that generation was. But came in, went to West Point, got commissioned out of there, and went infantry. That's what I wanted to do. I had the opportunity to serve mostly in light, airborne, and ranger units.
What's that mean, light?
So light infantry doesn't have mechanized vehicles. So you've probably seen pictures of Bradley fighting vehicles. That's mechanized infantry. We move a lot slower because we're walking. Of course, we have some vehicles. When it came in, we had Jeeps, just upgrades from what they had in World War II. The Humvee became a major player that was developed in my time in the Army. So light infantry, the airborne infantry, obviously the units that jump into where they're going, and then Rangers as a group of guys that are pretty well hand-selected for what they do for special operations.
And so that you did that for 31 years, then you retired, and then you joined like a consulting for the military, right? A specialty warfare?
Yeah, I joined a company that was about 98% retired special operations guys. And I was assigned to a special unit the Army had stood up, the Asymmetric Warfare Group. It was two-thirds senior NCOs and officers, so Sergeant First Class E7 and above on the NCO side, and Major and above on the officer side. And then the other third was retired special operators, Rangers, Special Forces, Delta, that sort of thing. And our mission was to advise U.S. Army and Marine Corps units in Iraq and Afghanistan on their combat missions. So we pair up one retired guy with one active duty guy, embed in those units, go on their missions, act as combat advisors. The other mission we had was to look for capability gaps that the enemy had, and capability gaps that we had. And we had a solution development squadron back at Fort Meade, Maryland, that came up with ways to exploit those gaps the enemy had and to fill those gaps, fix those problems that we had. So I had the opportunity to do that for 7 years. I went back to Iraq twice and Afghanistan twice with that unit before coming to Homes for Our Troops.
Wow. And so Homes for Our Troops was in 2014.
Correct.
So that's 12 years now that you've been serving as the executive director?
Correct. I actually showed up on Martin Luther King Day back in 2014 because nobody told me they didn't work on Martin Luther King Day, which I knew it was a holiday, but I'd been in the Army and you don't always take the holidays off. Yeah. So I was asked to come up for 3 years, help out with some stuff. The president was a guy I had been with in Korea, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He left after about 4, and I'm still there at 12-year mark, so I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
What made you want to join Homes for Our Troops?
As I said, a good friend of mine asked me to help out. Once I got into it, it hooks you pretty good, which you probably experienced building for us. You can't beat the mission. The mission, as you said, to build and donate specially adapted custom homes nationwide for these guys and gals that were severely injured in Iraq and Afghanistan. To enable them to rebuild their lives is just something you can't put a price tag on. And watching what these men and women do after they're in the home is really really amazing. And we get to that later in the podcast when we talk about our by the numbers. But it's really giving them a home that is completely accessible to them in their wheelchair. And I often talk to folks who go, well, you mean like ramps and handbars? No, we don't build homes with ramps. So it's a single-story home, as you know very well. It's about 2,800 square feet. We think that's the right size home to raise a family, but it's not so big that taxes, insurance, that sort of stuff is going to eat up your budget. So once I got to really know what we were doing, I've never really thought about holding my boss to that 3-year approach.
It's the mission. I like how you put that.
Well, Built by Krueger is an amazing company, and your folks are all not only highly professional and skilled at what they do, they all have bought into the HVOT mission. And as you know, having built 4 homes for us and working on fixing another one that somebody else built, you get to know the veterans. You know who you're building for. You know the sacrifices they have made. And you've seen what the home does for them once they move in. And, we go with custom home builders like you all because we don't ever expect our veterans to move again. So we're not asking somebody to throw a home together. We want a custom home built that's going to last. Veterans are going to be in there 40, 50, 60, 70 years, whatever they've got left. And, that may be where the kids end up moving into later on. It's certainly where everybody comes with grandkids for the holidays because mom and dad's home isn't adapted. So mom and dad come to your house too. We do tell them one of the downsides is you'll be the family holiday home.
How many specially adaptive features are in the house?
There's over 40 major adapted features. Folks always think of, as they should, wider hallways, wider doorways. But our homes go way beyond that. There's ADA compliant, and there's totally accessible. We build totally accessible. So the sinks are roll under, the countertops are roll under, the stovetop is roll under, and of course the controls for the stove are across the front, so the veteran's not reaching over a hot burner to adjust the temperatures. We build it with 2 HVAC zones. Because of their injuries, a lot of our veterans run hot or cold compared to the rest of the family due to loss of skin area because of amputations or burns or spinal cord injuries. They just can't control their body temperature the way an able-bodied person can. So if, for example, Josh Kelly, the veteran we're building for right now, if he's burning up, he can go back in the primary suite, crank that air conditioning down. He's not going to freeze Lauren and the boys out in the rest of the home. The windows are framed lower, and they slide left and right. They're not double hung, because if you're in a wheelchair and the window's up, you want it down, you're out of luck. Little stuff that folks don't think about. Light switches are lower, outlets are higher, so the home is wired differently as well as framed differently. We put luxury vinyl plank from one of our corporate partners on his flooring, and luxury vinyl tile in the bathrooms, because carpet's not your friend when you're in a wheelchair. So you've got and we went to luxury vinyl plank from manufactured hardwood, because it wears better than hardwood does, which is something we have learned along the years. So the LVP is better for wheelchair use than wood is, so that's what we put in. But I would say the feature that the veterans give us the most positive feedback on, and you know where I'm going, is that primary bathroom. It restores that freedom and independence of just doing what we do every day. Get up, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, shave, put on makeup, whatever you do, without assistance. So that is a roll-in shower. That shower has an L-shaped bench so the veteran can roll in, transfer from his or her chair to the bench, take that shower, and not get his or her chair wet. It's got 3 shower heads, one for someone standing up in the family taking it, one with is over the bench, or a hand wand. So whatever they need to do, they can get that water flow position for what works for them. The commode is a bidet type of commode. The tub is a dual action whirlpool and bubble jet.
It's like a therapy tub.
It's exactly what it is. And our veterans, some need whirlpool type action for the therapy, some need the bubble jet. I also hear from the spouses that it's just a darn good tub to take a bath in.
It is. And I just, going into the thought process that you guys have learned over the years of what a veteran coming home in a wheelchair or wounded, and the things that they deal with, not even just physical, but also, security issues. You guys, do a lot for that, and you have a safe space built into the house for them.
Absolutely. The primary closet is a steel reinforced concrete storm room that we build to FEMA standards. As you know, it's got about a 400-pound steel door on it, which you only want to hang once. Yes. But it doubles as a tornado shelter for our guys and gals that live where they have tornadoes. It's a safe room. We've had guys down along the Gulf Coast ride out hurricanes with them. I'm not sure that's a good idea, but, that's where they did it. Our single guys turn it into their arms room. So you walk in there afterwards, they got all their rifle racks and pistols. Until they get married, then it becomes a closet again, and they got to buy a gun safe. But, so it's a feature that is very useful for our veterans and their families.
Yeah.
One of the features we put in is a wraparound sidewalk. So the veteran's got full access to the home from his or her wheelchair. We build all of our homes with a full home generator. Most of our guys and gals are not looking to live in a development. And in fact, you all have been on some pretty remote sites lately for us. So we're putting in a septic system. We're dropping a well quite often. But again, we always make sure the veteran understands what they're getting into. So the general contractors, and you guys do a great job of this, go through the home with the veteran and spouse before we hand them the keys and say, here's where everything is, here's how everything works, here's what you need to do as an owner, here's what you need to go get help for. And we set them up with who to call for the very certain, the irrigation services, the generator services. We keep reminding our guys It runs on an engine. It starts by a battery. If it doesn't kick in automatically, you need to follow the manual or call whoever your servicer is, because otherwise it won't start when you need it. And most of the time, one of the things our veteran support people do, those 7 folks, is every time there's a major storm, whether it's hurricane, tornadoes, wildfires, they're calling our veterans to make sure they're okay. That all seems to be on a weekend, but they're 24/7 in that job. And most of the time we find when the generator didn't kick in, it was out of gas, or they hadn't done anything when it didn't do its automatic start every month or every 2 weeks. So again, it's training these guys and gals to be responsible homeowners as they go. One of the things we do is we survey all of our veterans who've been in their home for at least a year, and we do this every other year, and we call it our by the numbers. And it's a series of questions of your life before and after. And that way, you can count the number of homes. And that's an output. What's the impact? And the impact for us is jobs, families, careers, what they're doing now. So I'll just share a couple of statistics with you, and folks can go to our website to get all the statistics. But for employment, veteran employment went up 110% after they moved in, because it doesn't take all day to get up and crawl into the bathroom on your residual limbs, figure out how you're going to brush your teeth and shave because you can't see up over the sink. You can do it the way everybody else does it. Roll in your wheelchair, roll under a lowered sink, use that tilt mirror so you got a straight 90-degree angle, get out the door to go to work or to go to school or to learn a trade. But the impact on the spouses surprised me the first time we did it. I knew it had an impact, but I had no idea. The impact on the spouses, their employment went up 295%, almost quadrupled, because they don't have to spend all day helping their veteran get through the day. So it really is what you help us do by building these adapted homes, is help our veterans and their families get back to a normal life. And it allows the spouse to not be a caregiver, but to be a spouse. Part of the feedback we get from our veterans is, I can finally be the dad I want to be, or I can finally be the wife that I want to be. They're not being a patient that the spouse is taking care of. Over 93% of our veterans and spouses say their stress level goes down after moving into their home. And I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this can identify with anything that lowers stress is probably a good thing. Veteran education, those who have either graduated or were attending college, junior college, or trade school, went from 19% to 81% after moving in. For the spouses, it went from 21% to 87%. So again, the impact that our donors and our fundraisers and our corporate partners have and our contractors have on our veterans goes way beyond that home. It's the impact that they have as they rebuild their lives. The other aspect we do to help our veterans rebuild their lives is we have 8 of our veterans and spouses that form our Veteran Action and Advisory Team. We call it our VAT. And those are veterans and spouses who've been in a home at least a year who can do the peer mentoring with our veterans and their spouses. So I can talk to our guys and gals, veteran to veteran. I can't talk to them double leg amputee to double leg amputee. But the members of our VAT can do that. And they can tell them, I get it, I've been there. The spouse can say, yeah, I spent 8 months in a Fisher House outside of Walter Reed or outside of the Navy Hospital in San Diego. I get what you went through. I get what you're going through. So they do that peer mentoring for us. And they are absolutely, they're all volunteers. They all absolutely are a key part of our team that helps our veterans rebuild their lives. And I'm not really tracking another organization that has that in-depth of contact with their veterans on a regular basis.
That's that after handoff mission.
Exactly.
That you guys are committed to.
Absolutely.
What's the process for a wounded veteran to get into the program?
The process starts with having the VA determine that you are badly injured enough to be eligible for specially adapted housing benefits from the VA. That criteria is set by Congress, and it is loss of or loss of use of 2 or more limbs, or blind, or some combination thereof. So all of our veterans meet that criteria. Now, there could be a single-leg amputee, like Josh Kelly is, but he has limb salvage on the other leg, which means the shrapnel injuries that he sustained when he lost his leg, the leg is there, but it really doesn't work the way it's supposed to, with the loss of muscle mass and the other challenges that come with getting blown up. So all of them meet that criteria. The VA makes that determination. We don't have any medical folks on our staff, and frankly, I wouldn't want to be in the business of trying to make that. So once they get that certification from the VA, then we do a background check, finances, criminal background, because our whole idea is setting these men and women up for success. Our tagline is building homes, rebuilding lives. And the way we look at it is building a specially adapted custom home where the veteran wants to live is our supporting effort. Our main effort is staying in contact with them for life to assist them with whatever they choose to do with their lives. So them rebuilding their lives is what we really are all about at Homes for Our Troops. So we get them into the home with the adaptations that are in the home, enable them to not have to spend all day just existing, just getting up to go to the bathroom. They can do that stuff, maybe not as quickly as able-bodied people can, but pretty quick, and more importantly, without assistance. And then get back into getting a job, going to school, learning a trade. A lot of our veterans have become the stay-at-home parent, and the spouse is pursuing a career that, frankly, had they been able to stay in the Army or the Marine Corps or in the Navy or the Air Force, may not have been able to because you're moving every 2 to 3 years.
How many homes have you guys completed? Because last year I remember we were hitting that 400 mark. Where are we at now?
We are at 428, and as of Saturday, after we're finished up in Oak Creek, it'll be 429.
Man.
And
429 lives changed.
Yep, and I would say 429 families' lives changed. It's and in 46 states. The last key ceremony I did out west was last month in Wyoming, which was our first home in Wyoming, which you also built for us.
What's really special about HFA is it's just not the key ceremony and handing the house off. You guys stay in the lives, because that's only one aspect of what they're dealing with. So tell me a little bit more about what you guys do post giving the home to the veteran.
Absolutely. And that's really key to what makes us different from other nonprofits that build adapted homes. And there's a couple other good ones out there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through them right now. But but nobody really stays in contact like we do. I have 7 people on the staff. All they do is follow up with our veterans, whether it's a periodic check-in, just see how they're doing. Early on, if there's a warranty issue, we take care of that. When you all build a home, we never hear about it because you tell them we built your home. You don't call Homes for Troops, you call us and we'll get you squared away, which, as you know, saves us a heck of a lot of time and money also. Yeah. So it's helping them get going on that. We keep building our network of other nonprofits, corporations, and government organizations. So if they do have a problem that we can't assist with, we can link them up with one of those organizations, and preferably one that is geographically close to wherever the veteran lives, so that they can assist them moving forward. We link all of our veterans with a financial planner for at least 3 years on a pro bono basis. So although we donate the home to our veterans, you still have property taxes, you still have insurance, you still have maintenance. So we want to make sure that they are set up for financial success before they move in. Mm-hmm. So when we hand them the keys, we know what their income is, whether it's through disability, Social Security, jobs, whatever it is. We know how much taxes are going to be. We know how much insurance is going to be. And we got a good yardstick on what home maintenance costs you on an annual basis. So they are prepared to do that, to maintain the home and not lose the home because they didn't pay their taxes or whatever the case may be. I mean, I tell them up front, Matt, there's one thing I can't protect you from, and that is taxes.
Yeah.
If you don't pay it, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
But if we have a veteran gets through the VA piece and our background check and his finances are a complete disaster, we will link him up with a planner early and not bring him into the family until his finances are stable. And we've had guys 2 years with a planner to get out of the you can't make this up situation they got themselves into, and now are ready to be able to have a budget, stick with the budget, and be a responsible homeowner. So it really is, as you pointed out, our mission is to help these guys and gals succeed in whatever they do after they move in.
Yeah. It's still just amazing what you guys do. I'm blown away. So 429 homes. What's the next milestone target in the next couple of years that you guys are shooting for?
Well, Tom Landmeyer, our president, just put a mark on the wall to hit 500 by the end of fiscal year 28, which our fiscal year ends on 30 September. So we're going to have to do it's a little bit of a stretch goal.
Yeah.
We average in the 23, 25 homes a year, so it's within striking range. But the team is fired up about it. In fact, we had a meeting yesterday talking about, all right, so what do we have to do to our 3-year plan that doesn't quite support that right now? Obviously, raising more revenue is part of it, buying more land. So we're going to move some of our construction projects forward where we can. We have some custom home builders like you all that are quite good at getting the job done on time or even maybe early. And so we can pull those forward from fiscal year 27 into 26 and get them done this year. So the team is over the initial shock of this, what we're going to do. And they're driving hard, coming up with ways to do it. We just switched engineering companies to one that has more capacity than the one that we were using. So to do that engineering aspect after we get going on a project, and we have a civil engineer on the staff that does checks all of that work, they can do more than one project at a time. So that's going to shrink that engineering time that we sometimes lose a little bit of time on.
Yeah. If we could just lose some of the city municipality review time, we'd really be quicker.
We've been trying to crack that nut since long before I got here. But
let's talk about your funding. Where do you get your money?
So 65% of our revenue is individual donors, fundraisers, and foundations. So it's people writing a check once a year, people signing up for a monthly giving program, Operation Lasting Support, or doing a fundraiser for us. And we've got fundraising experts on our staff that if someone wants to do a fundraiser, they just need to reach out to us, and we will link you up with an expert on what you want to do. So 65% is individual donors, and 35% is corporate partners who either donate the product to us or donate or sell it to us at a very steep discount. And they don't give us the discontinued stuff because we're building a custom home. We're not going to put a piece of crap appliance in there. So Whirlpool, as one of our corporate partners, gives us their top-of-the-line stuff. Shaw does our electrovinyl plank nationwide. So they understand, and our corporate partners understand who they're supporting, and they know that this is a home that needs to last for decades. And to be as minimal maintenance as we can. We build a home to Energy Star standards. You don't get a tax break on it anymore, but it makes the home energy efficient so that the veteran's going to reduce his energy costs as much as possible.
So the process, you select the builder. The builder builds a home. Through the process, before we start, there's a community kickoff. And that community kickoff is locally at some local nonprofit as well. And welcome the veteran to the community. So the community comes out, everybody speaks, you get to hear a little heartfelt story from the veteran, from somebody like you talking about what we're doing in this community. And then there's another phase where it's a community day, where people in the community get to come out and volunteer and help with the landscaping and just really welcome the veteran in, because some of these guys are moving from other states and they don't know anybody, but they know where they want to live.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's a nice stepwise approach to be able to start bringing that veteran into the community. And then at the end, there's the big key ceremony, and it's so cool to watch when, the motorcycle guys, all rally and do a big parade. The fire department gets involved. We got state representatives. I mean, it's pretty awesome when people come out to support these community kickoffs. And, it's just, I love the process of bringing that together.
Yeah, those three events, as you outlined, are key to getting our veterans involved in the community, where they're going to raise their kids. As I said, that's where the grandkids are going to be coming, because most likely their kids won't be buying an adapted home either, and get them going. And it allows us to talk to people about Homes for Our Troops, but it really allows them to get to know the veteran and family. And I tell folks, the veteran could have lived anywhere in the United States they wanted to live, but they chose your community to raise their family, to get back into the workforce, or to transfer from wherever they were to do it. So the landscaping day, as you pointed out, is really a fun event. Folks always want to roll up their sleeves and help, and we prefer to use custom home builders who know what they're doing, because I appreciate the enthusiasm, but that's not who you want building a home. But landscaping, I always tell folks, if you got one guy who remembers green side up, it goes pretty well. So laying the sod, spreading mulch, putting in plants, bushes, whatever. But the key to that is also, one, the veteran gets to meet his neighbors, but two, the home is ready to go when we hand them the keys at that key ceremony, as you mentioned. They don't have to get it landscaped. It's already there. The irrigation system is already in, if it's a place that they have grass, which not all of our places have grass. And then, of course, the key ceremony, after the veteran speaks, he raises the U.S. flag. We build all of our homes with a flagpole. If an HOA won't allow a flagpole, we don't buy the land. And we figure, we tell the veteran, they're probably not your kind of people anyway if you can't fly the U.S. flag. Cut the ribbon, and away we go. Community is absolutely vital. And I always tell folks there's three things you can do to help us out. And number one is welcome our veterans into your community, because, as you mentioned, community is vital to these guys and gals getting back into rebuilding their lives. Number two is tell people we exist. We work very hard to keep nearly 90 cents of every dollar that we spend going to the mission of buying land, building a high-end custom home, and then staying in contact with our veterans to help them rebuild their lives. So even an infantry guy like me can do the math and figure, if 88, 89, 90 cents is going to the mission, not a lot of money left over for advertising. So we don't have paid spokespersons. If you see famous people talking about us, it's because they're all in. We don't have TV commercials that we pay for. We've got a public service announcement that we make, but once we make it doesn't cost us anything to run it, but we also don't know when it'll get run. So we rely on people to get the word out. And we know that from a business perspective, word of mouth is not the fastest way to get the word out, but we think it's the right way. And we owe it to our donors and our supporters and our corporate partners to be able to look you all in the eye and say, thank you. And, out of that donation, 88, 89, 90 cents for every dollar is going to the mission, not to overhead. So people talking about us at work, church, school, neighborhoods, family, social media is a good way. Just get the word out. And we don't need them to give us a sales pitch. Just send them to our website and let them make up their own minds.
So, what the website is?
www.hfotusa.org. So hfotusa.org.
So 90 cents of every dollar goes to the mission. How do you do it?
We hire people that are committed to the mission.
Yeah.
As you could imagine, we're not at the top of the salary bands for skill sets, and nonprofits tend to run lower than the commercial world anyway. And we're probably on the mid to lower side on the nonprofit world. But the people we hire are here for the mission. And as you know, once you meet the veterans and you see the impact of the home and the impact of the staff helping them, it's really hard to walk away from. I've had a number of folks leave to go into the commercial world. Obviously, the money's better. I have a very large percentage of those men and women have come back to Homes for Our Troops because they needed that purpose in what they do. And building buildings, office buildings, or building homes for well-to-do people, it is good, and somebody's got to do it, but it's not exactly scratching the itch of the impact they make on the veterans. So we have 79 employees, mostly full-time, couple part-timers, with a very broad array of responsibilities. Obviously, we have construction managers that go out and inspect the build sites 4, 5, 6, 7 times a build.
But let's give Jeremy Lowe a shout out, who we work with a lot.
Absolutely. Jeremy is an amazing construction manager. He's a retired Marine, spent 20 years in the Marine Corps. Interesting guy. He made E7 in 10 years, became a warrant officer, made chief warrant officer 3 in 10 years, and got out. And so that is extremely fast to make warrant officer that grade and NCO rank that fast. And so my first question to him was, why'd you get out of the Marine Corps? Because you were killing it.
Yeah.
He said, I made a deal with my wife, 20 years, and then we would move where she wanted to live, and we'd do something else. And he's dynamite.
Definitely, you guys hire well, and you promote from within.
Right.
Caitlin Donovan. I mean, now she's the director of the construction, right? Right.
And Caitlin is one who left us to go into the commercial world, working for a custom home builder. Uh-huh. I was out there for 6 months. Actually learned a lot of good stuff that she brought back with her. And we brought her back in. She started actually as a community engagement coordinator, running the events. And that's a grind. Those gals are out 2 to 3 weekends a month, all over the country, schlepping a couple of 100-pound bags. When they go into an area they've never been before, they're cold calling for, as you mentioned, locations to do our kickoff, like a church or a VFW or a school. And so after 2.5 years of doing that, she said, I really love HVAC, but I don't want to do this job anymore. I said, what do you want to do? And she said, where do you need me? I said, I want you to be a construction manager. She said, I've got a communications degree, and I don't know that much about construction. I said, true, but you have high standards. You know what right looks like after going out to job sites for 2.5 years. You know what right doesn't look like after doing that. I'll send you to school at night to learn construction management. So she came on board with that. She went to Wentworth Institute of Technology. I think got 5 A's and a B. I gave her a hard time. Look, I don't pay for my kids to go to school. But and the rest is history. She was a dynamic construction manager. She's built more HVAC homes than anybody else. She gained great experience working for a custom home builder out in the commercial world that she brought back with her. For a while, she was our GC procurement person. That primary job is finding custom home builders like you all. And then she was the head of construction, working for the director for a couple of years, who had probably close to 50 years experience both in the Army as an engineer and in the commercial world in construction. and became the director of construction last September, I think it was, or maybe it was last spring. Not quite a year yet. Yeah. And she's doing a dynamic job. She's a dynamo.
She's a great leader for your organization. So I just we get to work closely with those two. So I'm going to want to give them shout outs.
Well, I give them shout outs all the time. They are a tremendous duo. And Jeremy's cohorts that are construction managers are the same. Most of them came from, in many cases, running their own custom home building business. So they're coming to me with 20, 25 years experience. As you know, there's a lot of non-building stuff that goes into running a business, and they just wanted to go back to building homes. And so we're their sweet spot, and they are our sweet spot. So as I mentioned, although we hire experienced custom home builders, they're not used to building a home with 40 major adaptations like we do. So we go out checking them 4 to 6 times to make sure. First-time builders for us, a lot of mistakes with framing because they don't read the 42 pages of plans we give them because they know how to build a home because they've been doing it for 25 years. But you frame those windows lower. You obviously frame the doors and the hallways wider. But you wire it different, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of nuances to an adapted home. And then, as you know, working with corporate partners to provide product for us, we've got a contract with those companies for the product, so you don't have the option to run down to Home Depot and pick up a window because MITRE is providing the windows, and we've got a contract with them to do it. So the
logistics
of it, and they're not used to getting supervised either, frankly, because most of the people you build for in the custom home world are not experienced home builders. Every now and then you might do that, but usually it's a guy who wants a nice home, and he's got the wherewithal to do it. So having HVAC come out and look over your shoulder, handing you a 45-page plan set, which is pretty comprehensive, and then getting inspected constantly, and having to learn how to what our lead time is for corporate partners to get product on site on time is a bit of a learning experience. But when we find a good one like you guys, we go back to you because, as you know from your first build, it's a steep learning curve. But once you do it, you got an idea of how it's supposed to run.
And I think building with a purpose isn't about profit, you know? And there's things that we're like, oh, yeah, that doesn't match plans. And it's not, we're going to build it right, no matter what. So we're going to build it to the plans for the veteran. And if something needs to be redone, we're going to redo it because that's just the right thing to do, you know? So appreciate the shout out.
Well, we get great feedback from our builders too. I mean, our 2 main points of feedback on our homes is the veterans. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the veteran's spouse. They're usually a lot more forthcoming than the veteran is, and our builders. I mean, just on the build that you all did for us in Casper, and you saved us a lot of money by recommending we not go with the engineered septic system with an infiltration pond to revise how we do that with more of a leach field approach. Not only saved us money, but as you know, the infiltration pond is a technique, but I don't care what you say, it's going to smell. So for quality of life, and actually we just did the AAR on that build, the after action review yesterday, and that was one of the points I said, look, guys, don't even accept a plan with that coming from the engineers. Go back and tell them to redo it because we're not going to build like that. And that was from Warren and me talking about it and him bringing it up. And so the feedback from the builders is valuable to us too. We tweak our plans every year a little bit based on builder and veteran feedback. We now have the option to have a pot filler if the veteran wants it. That was a veteran's recommendation during his build, and actually before it was past the point of no return of plumbing it and everything, that he did a lot of pasta cooking, and he thought that'd be good. Well, it makes sense because that way you're not rolling across the kitchen floor with a pot of water in your lap in your wheelchair. You can fill it right there at the stove. The laundry room that we have, we used to build homes with a laundry closet. And we got the feedback that, hey, that's great, but I can't get in there to do hookups and stuff. So we pulled the garage out about 10 feet, created a laundry room. That gave us room to put a utility sink in there also. In some homes, we put in a dog wash for their service dogs in that room. And they've got the room to maneuver around the washer and dryer. And it also gave us the option to either create a mudroom or another pantry for the veterans. So, again, the home we're building today is not the home we built 10 years ago. Yeah. It's an improvement based on veteran and GC feedback. So it's great. We are really thrilled to have Built by Krueger as one of our go-to builders, and we'll be sending guys your way to learn how to do it again.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So, Bill, in the 501c3 world, there's actually a rating system to make sure donor organizations give to qualified organizations. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me?
Sure. There's a number of organizations that rate nonprofits. And basically what they are is the watchdog that says these guys do what they say they do or they don't. Charity Navigator is one. We have their highest 4-star rating and have had it for quite a few years. Charity Watch is another one. We are A-rated by a Charity Watch. And they publish their criteria. And, we say nearly 90 cents of every dollar because it's not at 90 cents every year. But that is a tough mark to meet. As you noted, that doesn't leave a lot of money for all that other stuff that you got to do. And when you start looking at it, there's a small percentage that are in that 88, 90, 90 cents range of nonprofits. They evaluate you on your growth every year, almost like the Wall Street analysts looking at your business. So those are the two big ones: Charity Watch, Charity Navigator. You're Better Business Bureau certified. We meet all their requirements. But all of our ratings and all of our financials are on our website at hfotusa.org. HFOT standing for Homes for Our Troops. So all those ratings and all of our financials are on the website. And they're always available also if somebody can't find them. Just call us up, and we'll be happy to help you out. You mentioned fundraising earlier. And our approach to fundraising is as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical, you can turn it into a fundraiser. And that's why we have the experts to help you out. So you don't need to hire a professional to do a golf tournament to fundraise money for us. We've had kids do lemonade stands. We've had people turn all kinds of stuff. We had it was a kid at the time started a stickball tournament in New Jersey, and they brought the proceeds from the stickball tournament, sent it to H-Fund every year. Well, that kid went on to graduate from high school, go to college, become a Marine officer. Last I heard, he was a captain in the Marine Corps. They still do the stickball tournament. He's not there because he's all over the world. But his folks and his brothers took it over.
A legacy of giving.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And that's been going on now probably for a good 15 years.
Wow. Out here in Colorado, there's somebody who does a skeet clay.
You do. Actually, there's clay shoots and golf tournaments. Yeah. Hazelton actually does both. They do a clay shoot, and then they do a golf tournament too.
And they make an impact. They do. They put some numbers up.
They do.
Pretty impressive.
And again, when folks are doing a major fundraiser like that, we like to get our veterans out to it. One, we got guys who like to shoot, and two, we got guys who like to golf. And so around the country, we'll get our veterans out. We try to send someone who's local. One, because he's local. Two, because we're not buying a plane ticket to fly him around to do it. It's an opportunity to get to meet our veterans. And again, as you know, that's what you get to do when you come to one of our 3 Bill events to kick off the Volunteer Day or the Key Ceremony. And the Volunteer Day, you really get a chance to talk to them because in between haul and sod or whatever you're doing, you can go get a drink of water and BS with the veteran there that is doing it. But as you had asked earlier, we were started in 2004. And frankly, I think you asked the question, I failed to answer it, by a builder in Massachusetts who had read about a Massachusetts Army National Guard soldier who had lost both of his arms in Iraq. And our founder drove down to Walter Reed in D.C., introduced himself to this veteran, said, I'm going to build you an adapted home. Came back up to Massachusetts. I think he probably built it mostly with donated product, donated labor from his contacts in the construction industry. And when it came time to hand this veteran the keys, he said, I really appreciate what you're doing, but I just finished, a year in Walter Reed rehabbing and recovering with a lot of men and women who are badly injured. And a lot of them are more badly injured than I am. I cannot accept this home if it's the only one you're going to build. And that is what motivated our founder to start the nonprofit. He and his mom basically stood it up. And that's why we're based in Massachusetts. And that was an idea to start it as a project, a local project for one veteran who was badly injured, and grew into an organization with 79 employees, 429 homes, and with about 63 projects ongoing, and we'll bring 9 more veterans into the family in January when they come to a veterans conference for their final interview to get into the program. So we're going strong.
I love founder stories. Like, how did this get started? Because you think about how this story might inspire somebody else to start something good.
Absolutely. There was no intent to build more than one home for a Massachusetts guy.
And now 429 families. And this is going to, what do you think is the long-term trajectory of H5?
Well, we would like to work ourselves out of a job, which when I first said that, some of my younger folks got a little bit nervous. I said, do the math, okay? We're building 25 a year. We've always got somewhere between 65 and 80 projects ongoing that are anywhere from land search to architectural review, engineering, and then into the permitting and the construction part of it. But based on the VA numbers, we estimate there's still another 1,500 or more veterans that were badly injured in Iraq and Afghanistan post 9/11 that needed an adapted home. So, again, even infantry guys like me can do the math. If we're building 25 or so a year, that's a 40-year career at HVOT, and we still haven't put a dent in it. So, although we'd like to not have to build adapted homes for injured veterans, I think we've got a long-term prognosis where we're going to be doing that. Yeah. In fact, one of the things we were doing yesterday was going over our 5-year plan, of our strategic plan, and what do we need to tweak in addition to building 3 more homes in the next 3 years than we plan to, and looking at what's that long-term sustainability. Yeah. So we've got great corporate partners that have been with us for years and will be with us for years. We've got great builders like you and Built by Krueger that have been with us for years and will be with us for years. And unfortunately, we have a very large supply of wounded and injured veterans. So looking long term, I'm pretty sure whenever I get around to retiring, I'll be going strong and maybe even be doing better without me there.
No, you do great. Yeah, you're inspirational. So it's fun.
It's easy to be inspired with our team and our veterans and our builders and our supporters. I love coming out and getting out on the job site, seeing the people, see what's going on. You mentioned Jeremy Lowe, and as you know, he's very exacting, very attention to detail. He was in artillery in the Marine Corps, which is a very exacting and very detailed job. Yeah, well, being an infantry guy, we hope they're doing it back there. But, I was doing inspection on the Friday before the key ceremony walkthroughs, another set of eyes. Not like it hasn't been inspected by the GC. It hasn't been inspected by Jeremy or the construction manager. Sometimes I find something. Sometimes I don't. The first one I did for Jeremy was in Maryland. And he was missing doorstops, about 5 of them. Mm-hmm. And now, and you're building a custom home, doorstops aren't the most important thing in the world. But that's the attention to detail we put into these homes, because if you don't have one, that door's going to slam into something. Yeah. And I came back out and said, Jerry, you're missing the doorstops in the 2 back bedrooms. And he looked at me with the, you don't know what you're looking at, boss. Yeah. He went back there, came back, he goes, I'm heading to Home Depot right now. Yeah. Is that right? And they, of course, were there Saturday morning when we did. But again, as you know, if you look at something long enough, it's really hard to be an objective set of eyeballs. When I show up, or when my boss shows up doing it, we haven't been out there every day for the last 7 months looking at it. Yeah. We're walking in, and we know what it's supposed to look like. Yeah. So I don't fault the builders. I don't fault the CM. I give the CM a hard time. If I know the builder like you do, I'm going to give you a hard time too. But it's a lot of eyeballs looking at, and even we miss something. Something crops up. Obviously our homes have your standard 1-year warranty, but we tell our veterans, hey, we're giving you a lifetime warranty. Now, we're not giving you a lifetime warranty if it wears out. Yeah. But we're giving you a lifetime warranty that if we didn't do it right when we build it, we'll come back in and fix it. We put siding on a home in Kansas 8 years after the veteran moved in, because when we went back and looked at it, we did not do it right the first time. We've redone floors on homes where the veterans have been in there for years, because when we looked at it, Shaw looked at it, for some reason we didn't do that right. So we have a standard 1-year warranty, but we tell our veterans we'll stand by our work and by our builder's work. And if we didn't do it right when we built it, we'll come back out and fix it.
Yeah. Are you still sleeping on the couch here at headquarters sometimes?
I actually have a Murphy bed.
A Murphy bed?
Yeah, my first 3 years I was on an air mattress.
Yeah.
I found out that air mattresses are not designed for daily use.
No.
So after about a year, I'd wake up on the floor, and I had time to go to Walmart, get another one. But the organization offers the president and me, because neither of us live in Massachusetts, a stipend to get an apartment. Why waste money on a stipend, or why waste money on an apartment for H5 when we can sleep indoors? We're both Army guys. We spend a lot of time sleeping outdoors, so we're not real picky about where we live or sleep. My wife, on the other hand, is pretty picky about where we live and what home we live in. But
rightfully so.
So, we're I can't say we're roughing it. We got Murphy beds that fold
there
back
you go.
up.
Good. Make sure they're taking care of you too.
They are. Yeah. Wait, H5 sprung for the Murphy beds.
Yeah. That's awesome. I want to shift. I'm gonna tell a story, and I'm gonna need your wisdom and guidance. You're a dad of 2 daughters,
right?
And I'm a dad of 3 daughters. And about 4 months ago, my middle daughter, who is a sophomore in college, started to get the itch to do something exciting. And she's currently at Fort Jackson in basic training.
Super.
In week 3.
Great.
And I need your guidance, because sitting here as a dad, I'm like, what did she do? I think it's awesome. I'm so proud of her. I think it's an honor that she did this for our family, brought us into the U.S. Army family. And but what's your wisdom for a dad?
I would say I don't have to tell you to be proud.
Yeah.
I would tell you that, and I told my youngest daughter this when she decided to go in the Army, there's no more level playing field for somebody than the military. Yeah. Male, female, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. The military doesn't care. You can do the job or you can't. So I had guys at church ask me, what do you think about your daughter going in the Army? I said, besides proud? They go, yeah. I said, she won't find more level playing field as a woman than the Army. If she can do the job, she'll do well. If she can't, she won't. But it won't have anything to do with being a woman. So know that she's going to get a fair shake.
Yeah.
She's going to have good days and bad days, like everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
In the Army, sometimes those good days and bad days are magnified compared to the civilian community. But you can know that she's going to have leadership that cares about her and is going to watch out for her. And she can go as far as she wants.
Yeah.
And I found that folks that go in the military, and I've told people for years, if you got a kid coming out of high school or college and they don't know what they want to do, tell them take a look at the military.
Yeah.
You can learn a trade or skill set. One of three things happens. They get out after enlistment or their initial commitment, but they take the teamwork, the leadership, those types of skill sets with them to whatever they do. They decide that they like it, and they re-enlist and they make it a career, or they decide that they like it, but they want to do it as an officer, and they get out, they go to college, go to ROTC or West Point, get a college degree, come back in as an officer. But all of those are good outcomes. But you get individuals that truly understand being part of a team, being part of something bigger than themselves, and having a job that has a purpose. So I would say that when you get those phone calls and she's not the happiest soldier out there, remind her to take it a day at a time. Because the good days follow the bad days. And I don't care what career field you're in. You're going to have good days and bad days.
Absolutely.
But rarely will you find the comrades that you find in the Army out in the civilian world. And when she gets out, looks back on it, whether she does her enlistment or does 20 or 30 years, the best friend she's ever going to have, she's going to make in the Army. And I'm still in contact, particularly with the guys I had in combat. And in one case, that was over 40 years ago now, that you may not be in contact for years, and you run into each other in an airport, or they call you up or you call them up, and you pick right up where you left off. It's amazing.
So, because it was a 4-month decision process for her, which was good because she didn't just make a decision. She looked at all the different branches and said, okay, I'm really liking this. And I'm like, okay, I trust you to make a good decision. And so she's there now. I'm excited about Sunday when she gets to call home, hopefully. Never know. But thank you for that.
What did she come in to do?
So she's CBRN.
Okay.
Will be her AIT.
Okay.
So chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear specialist.
So she'll be going out to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
That's
for that.
where she's going to be going.
I would say if you get the chance, you should go to her basic training graduation at Fort Jackson. They do a graduation from their advanced training. It's not like graduating from basic, though, because basic is that crucible where you're really meeting the Army standard, and it's harder than the advanced training at Leonard Wood or any place else because it's your stereotypical soldier stuff. When she goes to Leonard Wood, she'll be learning the technical stuff of the job. But she's transitioning now from a civilian to a soldier, and it's absolutely amazing watching those drill sergeants make that transition with these men and women. It's I'm excited for you.
I'm excited and scared, but it's good to hear that she's in good hands because that's what you worry about, And college for her, she'll go back, but she's it was kind of just like a continuation of high school.
Sure,
she wanted kind of that. Let's supercharge my life.
She goes back. One supercharge is a great description. It kind of takes basic training, supercharges civilians into soldiers. But she'll have money available from the Army to go back to college. Or if she decides, one of those who decides to become an officer, she's got ROTC scholarships, which is what my youngest daughter used for her last 3 years of college. So that helps a lot.
And she's a Marine?
No, she's soldier. She's an Army.
Army, okay.
Yeah, but had to disown her.
Okay, all that.
Just kidding. Of course, for all the Marines that are out literally.
Where'd she do her basic?
She went to Fort Rucker, Alabama.
Okay.
I don't know what to call it now.
Yeah.
So she went through their officer training there, and then she went to a military college for the basic officer training.
Okay.
In North Georgia, and then I went to Rucker, and then after the officer course, I went to flight school there at Rucker, and has been flying Black Hawks ever since.
Oh, wow. That's pretty inspirational. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, she likes it. I am.
Proud dad moment for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What else makes HFOT special?
I think the people we have working there make it special. As I mentioned, it's a hard place to leave. I'm 12 years into a 3-year stint, and I've got a lot of high-quality folks that have left and done well in the commercial sector but came back. Be honest, my sweet spot for hiring somebody is in their 40s or 50s. They've been highly successful out in the commercial world. They're looking to do something with a purpose. So I can hire them with 30 years experience for what you might pay someone 5 years out of trade school or college. I don't try to lowball my people, but it just kind of comes with it. But they love it. And we've got a very interesting spread of people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, now a few of us in our 70s at Homes for Our Troops. And it's great to watch that generational interaction because you probably cover, I don't know, at that point, 3 different generations, however you want to break it out. And we got a good chunk in their 20s, good chunk in their 30s, good chunk in their 40s, good chunk in their 50s. Probably our biggest chunk is in their 50s. But what I found interesting that of the people I have in their 30s, 10 of them started when they were in their 20s. So they are millennials and came to us somewhere in their early to mid-20s and are still with us 10 years later, driving on.
Employee retention.
Absolutely. And we've got a great team. I mean, I can't talk enough about our team. And our team extends out to our repeat builders like you all and all of our GCs out there. And we don't go back if you don't do a good job the first time. Again, we're in business, and time is money. So if my construction manager's got to go out 10 times during a build because you aren't picking up on it, we're not going to go back to you. No offense.
So I remember at one of the ceremonies that you got to speak at, I really picked up that you felt like the country let our vets down, and that HFOT is an organization that's filling that gap.
I feel that our country let our Vietnam veterans down.
Okay.
Because that was, you weren't looked up to being in the Army in the 60s and 70s. And that's the Army I joined. When our veterans came home from Vietnam, they were told to change out of their uniforms before they left Oakland or wherever they came back to because our country had abandoned them. They spit on them. Now, it was war protesters. It was draft card burners, blaming the wrong people because the soldiers and the Marines aren't the folks that decide to go to war. They're the ones that fight the war. And that generation swore that they never let it happen again. So today's country is not letting our veterans down. And you can see it at the build events, the way they welcome our veterans into their community, the way they donate, the way they fundraise, the way they support our veterans during the build and after the build. And I always like to tell folks that we are a 501c3 nonprofit. You know, any donation is tax deductible. But don't ever think about what we do as charity, because what we do is we help the American people repay a debt we owe these men and women who were so badly injured serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. And because of those injuries, they've lost a lot of their freedom of movement, or they've lost their eyesight, or they've lost any number of other challenges that come with the injuries that they have sustained. And so this is a nonprofit, but this ain't charity work.
Yeah.
This is helping American people repay a debt we owe these guys and gals, and we absolutely couldn't do it. As I mentioned, 65% of our revenue is individual donors, fundraisers, and foundations, and the other 35% is great corporations that either donate high-end product or cash, or great builders like Built by Krueger that we never see the warranty work because you guys take care of it.
I had an uncle, didn't really know him real well, but Vietnam, and it changed him. And as my dad was in the military for a short little stint, but now that I have my daughter going in, being part of an organization that is outside the military too, that I know that there's people in our country that care, and that if something was to happen, she's not alone, we're not alone, and that we can come together to help support our veterans. So absolutely.
When units deploy to combat, they have what they call family readiness groups. That's what they call them in the Army. I don't know what they call them in the Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, but they all have them. And those are the spouses. That's the rear detachment people that keep that group together wherever they came from. If they went from Fort Carson or Fort Bragg or Camp Lejeune or wherever they went from. And so the spouses and the family members, the kids, have peer support groups back there. You've got the spouses of the senior officers and NCOs talking to the spouses of the young privates and young lieutenants to say, this is what's going on, this is how it's going on, how it's working, that sort of stuff. So there really is no better support groups mechanism that I'm aware of than what the military provides for our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and coasties.
Yeah, that's good for me to hear right now as my daughter's climbing Victory Tower.
There you go. I've been to Fort Jackson, and I know exactly what she's doing.
Running Tank Hill, and, this week is her tear gas week as well.
Excellent. Well, it's right up her specialty.
Yeah,
so
I was like, she better figure it out.
She'll get plenty of opportunities for that in her career.
So that's awesome. What else did you want to share?
For the Colorado audience, we've completed 26 homes here.
In Colorado.
And Josh Kelly's, the one we're doing Saturday, up in Oak Creek, will be number 27. Yeah. We have 2 builds coming up, one in Severance and the other in Westcliff.
Yeah.
And so we think we've got land for the Westcliff one. The veteran owns some acreage, and we're our engineers looking at to make sure it's a buildable lot.
Yeah.
And then looking at the other stuff, is it an affordable buildable lot here in that county? But he's pretty rural. He may be, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the one in Severance, we've got money down on it. We're doing our due diligence to make sure it's a buildable lot. So sellers like us because we pay cash. We don't have to finance it. Yeah. They don't like us because we want 60 days due diligence, because we want to test the soil, test the water. We're going to be able to drill a well that's going to give us the gallons per minute that we need.
Yeah.
Are there issues with the soil that's going to require extra compaction, or the case may be? Is there anything that's a little wonky with the title? So, 40 years from now, some guy comes out of the mountains and goes, hey, this land was never deeded to the guy who sold it to you. So, but quite often we explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. And we buy most lots we put money down on. They get it. And they're like a first-time builder for us. Okay, I'm not sure about all this different stuff I got to do, and it does. It's a pain in the neck to run your whole operation soup to nuts.
Yeah.
But as you know, once you meet the veteran and their family, and you meet our team, and the guys like Jeremy Lowe and Caitlin Donovan that are out there, it's a great crew to work with, and it's a great crew to support. And we celebrate everything with our veterans, the marriages, the kids being born, the kids graduate from college. We get notices. We looked at the Christmas cards that we got from our veterans this year. Several had kids graduate from college, or they were finishing up college, or whatever the case may be. And so truly what you and your team help us do is set the conditions for our veterans to rebuild their lives and change the whole course of not only their life, but their spouse's life and their children's lives going forward.
Oh, HFA is an amazing thing. We're so honored to be selected as a GC for you guys, and we look forward to continued opportunities and working with you guys. And it's a pleasure and an honor to sit next to you across.
Well, absolutely, that goes both ways. You and the entire team here at Built by Krueger, and you can tell when you're working with somebody if they're all in or not. Yeah. And your team is just like our team. Y'all are all in. Yeah. That sounds like I'm from the South because I'm not, but I did spend most of my adult life in the South. Yeah, I do live there now. But and I can help you with the daughter questions too because I had a few of those over the years with my youngest one.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Thanks for having us on the show, and looking forward to getting that next contract coming your way.
That's great. Appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.